Friends, we've got a problem, a big, hairy, inflation-shaped problem, and the clock is ticking. We're talking about a 6-year window here, folks. 7 years to escape the rat race before it's too late. Why 2030? Well, that's the year the World Economic Forum, those Davos-dwelling futurists, have earmarked for their Great Reset. They envision a world where, and I quote, "you will own nothing and be happy." Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds less like a utopia and more like a dystopian nightmare. The problem is they're not entirely wrong about the own-nothing part. With inflation skyrocketing and wages stagnating, owning assets is becoming increasingly difficult for everyday folks. But here's the kicker. The very system that's supposed to protect us, the financial system, is rigged against us. Let's unpack this own-nothing and be happy thing, shall we? On the surface, it sounds utterly bonkers. Who in their right mind wouldn't want to own their own home, their car, their toothbrush? But dig a little deeper, and you'll find a chilling logic at play. The WEF argues that private ownership is unsustainable. It leads to inequality, overconsumption, and environmental degradation. Their solution? A world where everything is rented, from your apartment to your appliances to, God forbid, your clothes. And who, you ask, will be the benevolent landlords of this brave new world? Well, large corporations, of course, with governments acting as their trusty enforcers. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this whole thing stinks of a power grab. A way for the already wealthy and powerful to consolidate their control over every aspect of our lives. And the scary part is, they're already laying the groundwork. Enter stage left central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. These are essentially digital versions of cash issued and controlled by central banks. Sounds harmless enough, right? Just a more efficient way to pay for your morning latte. But hold on a minute, unlike cash, which is anonymous and untraceable, CBDCs leave a digital trail. Every transaction, every cup of coffee, every pack of gum can be tracked and monitored. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I have nothing to hide, and that's great. But what about when your definition of acceptable spending doesn't align with the government's? What happens when they decide that your carbon footprint is too high or that you're spending too much on unhealthy foods? Section 4. Uncontrolled money printing, a recipe for disaster. Meanwhile, back in the real world, governments are busy printing money like it's going out of style, and why not? It's the easiest way to fund their pet projects and kick the can down the road. But here's the thing about printing money. It devalues the currency that's already in circulation. That's why your dollar doesn't buy what it used to. That's why your savings are slowly being eroded. And that's why we're stuck in this inflationary spiral. This uncontrolled money printing is a direct attack on your personal liberty. It robs you of your purchasing power, your ability to save for the future, and your financial freedom. It's a hidden tax on the poor and the middle class, while the wealthy elite are able to hedge against inflation with their assets. Section 5, CBDCs and the spectre of financial control. Now let's connect the dots. We have CBDCs, which give governments unprecedented control over our finances, and we have rampant inflation, which is eroding our purchasing power and making it harder to build wealth. See where I'm going with this? Imagine a world where your CBDC account is linked to your social credit score. Spend too much on frivolous items, your score goes down, and you're denied access to loans or even certain services. Criticize the government online, boom, your account is frozen. This isn't science fiction, folks. This is the terrifying reality that CBDCs could usher in. Section 6, Bitcoin's a beacon of hope in uncertain times. So, what's the solution? How do we escape this dystopian nightmare? Well, we need to take back control of our finances. We need to opt out of a system that's rigged against us, and that's where Bitcoin comes in. Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency. That means it's not controlled by any government or financial institution. It's censorship resistant, meaning no one can freeze your account or tell you how you can spend your money. And it's scarce, which means its value can't be inflated away by reckless money printing. By 2030, the world as we know it could be a very different place. The choices we make today will determine the future of our financial freedom. Will we be trapped in a system of surveillance and control? Or will we embrace the power of decentralization and take back control of our financial destiny? The choice is ours.